Hey, it's Dr. Infinity. Welcome to White Pill Media.
There's something I want to show you. Come on, I'm not gonna turn you in. I'm your friend. Come on.
I'm going to be talking about The Lion in Winter. This came out in 1968, and it has this really stacked cast. This really great cast. We got Peter O'Toole, we got Katharine Hepburn, we got Anthony Hopkins, we got Timothy Dalton, we got boom, 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 big names. This is a drama, historical drama. It was originally a play, but they turned it into a movie. This is about Henry II, and he and his wife are scheming against each other, and they're trying to figure out who's going to inherit his empire, right? So it's really good. I like English history. I like just history in general, and we have a really good cast, so I'm like, okay, I really want to check this out. This is a recommendation from me, so if you do want to check it out, I would say go for it. Go in spoiler free, but it's really solid. I like it, and and I'm going to get into it pretty quick, but something I enjoyed was the show I watched called Kate Fell with Derek Jacobi from iClaudius. Kate Fell's not a really high recommendation, but it covers this period where England is in civil war between this guy King Stephen and this woman Empress Maud. And Empress Maud is the mother of Henry II, so it's really cool to then see another movie to get a continuation of that. This is her son, right after the anarchy, here's Henry II. And I've also seen Peter O'Toole playing Henry II again in the Beckett movie, which I didn't care for as much, but there's some good stuff there. I probably won't review it, but really, really cool, and I like these actors, so that was always sweet. So we open up with Peter O'Toole fighting with this, having a sword fight, and then it's okay, this is Henry II, and this is his son John, and John has this older brother Richard in the movie, and I'm like, hang on, I think I kind of know a little bit about Robin Hood, and this is the bad King John that's portrayed in the Robin Hood stories. It's this really evil bad dude, and I don't know, that's probably some propaganda, but I think he's also, King John's the one where they forced the Magna Carta on him. I'm pretty sure that happens during this time. I'm not sure, but we got this cool sword fight. We got this beautiful woman spread on a blanket with some good looking food, and it's all right, man, this is some nice shit. It's better than anything being produced nowadays. The movie overall feels a lot like a play, which makes sense because obviously it's adapted from a play. But what I mean by that is just characters can kind of give some long speeches and that, and everyone's kind of scheming and going back and forth, and alliances are made and broken throughout the movie. We have Henry, we have his three sons, Joffrey, John, Richard. We have Richard being portrayed by Anthony Hopkins. Katharine Hepburn plays Eleanor, who is the wife of Henry. It's really, she has a great intro scene.
How dear of you to let me out of jail.
It's only for the holidays.
Like school, you keep me young.
I'd kill to have a relationship like that with the wife I don't have. I just love their little exchange, you let me out of jail only for the holidays. And they have a really good back and forth throughout the movie. And that's really the strengths of the movie. Everyone's being introduced. We have King Philip of France, who has come to negotiate with Henry over the marriage of his sister Alay, because they had this engagement set up years ago. And I really just love Henry sprawled out in his chair with this cup of wine. Great look. King Philip is portrayed by Timothy Dalton, and Timothy Dalton, I haven't seen him in a ton of stuff, but some friends of mine are into James Bond, so I've seen a few James Bond movies. I guess a good amount of them, but License to Kill, that was a really good one. I really enjoyed that. I haven't loved every Bond movie I've seen, but they're cool, or I guess maybe the older ones. I don't really know about the newer stuff. People don't come to this channel for deep film analysis or whatever. It's usually for, Professor Xavier is a sexual predator and things like that. But, I can pick up on small symbolism stuff. We have all three of the sons outside, and they all have different coats, and just even how they walk as well. We have Anthony Hopkins as Richard the Lionheart, and he has this big fur coat, it's flowing, and he has this wide stance. We have Joffrey is dressed very well. He's not as outlandish as Richard is dressed, but he's obviously dressed better than Jon, but it's a lot more muted. It's a lot more subtle. It's in the background, and that obviously fits his personality. While Jon is bundled up from the cold, he's the weakest of the three, and his clothes are they look a little stained, a little tattered. He's obviously dressed the worst. Jon, who's a little like hunchbacked, it looks like, and he's kind of like ugly and cowardly. And I don't know how much of that's like propaganda. King John was probably like an okay guy. He's probably an okay guy, and it's just like some Magna Carta bullshit where he's just this cartoonish villain, but he's portrayed like that here, so whatever. And we have Joffrey, who is the unloved he is the middle son. Yeah, he's the unloved middle son between them, and neither parent really gives a shit about them. Henry is advocating for Jon, the youngest, and Eleanor is advocating for her son Richard. Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm not going to cover like every time characters fight or have an argument because this video would be several hours. Queen's trying to recruit Richard to her cause because she's trying to keep the Aquitaine, which is this province. I don't know exactly what it is. Well, it has to be in France, right? It has to be in France, but she's trying to keep that, but like get him to be king. But, so there's all this like alliances are made and broken. Joffrey is working with trying to get Jon to be king by starting a war between England and France, and they're working together with Philip. Eleanor is also a prisoner of Henry II because I don't know too much about it like overall, but I think Henry II's sons rebelled against him for a period of time, but he like made peace with them, but he never like fully trusted them, so he kept Eleanor as like a prisoner, and she's a prisoner in this movie, so he wants to give the Aquitaine, this really powerful region, for Jon in exchange for Eleanor to be free, just go wherever she wants, because apparently she had some role in like riling people up against him. Overall, I like the movie. Like, I like the costumes, I like I like the dialogue, I like the history, I like all of it. Especially the music. There's some really good musical parts. One thing I did not like is that Philip is kind of attacking Henry, and he brings up that Richard is like literally in the closet listening to this, that Richard had sex with him, and Richard the Lionheart was not gay. I don't like this. I kind of hate this. Like,
No! It wasn't like that!
He's Richard the Lionheart. He's this great guy. He went on crusades, and he might have had a few like bastard children. Just because he and his wife didn't produce kids doesn't mean that he was a homosexual. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care for that, and it took me out of the movie a little bit, and I'm trying not to like bitch about it so much, but it is annoying when it comes up. Henry sees that all of his sons have been plotting against him, and they've been trying to betray him, even his son Jon, so he just kind of wanders around the castle at night, and it's very empty, and he walks out on the battlements, and he's just kind of holding himself because no one will hold him, and I really like that. I like that shot. Kind of has a plot later on where he's gonna annul his marriage with his wife, and he's gonna marry Alay, who he's been sleeping with. He has his sons dragged out of their rooms in the middle of the night, and he puts them down in a cell. But Eleanor has her own plans. She has her own schemes because she's been matching Henry throughout the movie. Like boom, 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 punch for punch. So she ends up coming downstairs and bringing her son's daggers. She kind of plays this passive-aggressive thing like, oh, I just want you boys to flee. Don't use these daggers to murder your father, and solve this problem for me. Don't do that, And Richard calls her out on it because she is clearly asking them to murder their father. And great image of them just kind of like cowering, or like they're all like sort of hiding, when Henry enters the room. And then, they dagger fight a little bit. It's a little... yeah, they dagger fight a little bit. Here comes the moment. This is like one of my favorite scenes, just like the music. The music's phenomenal. I should probably look it up, like what music was used in this scene. But Henry raises his sword up to kill Richard, but he can't do it. he's his son, and he can't just leave his sons down in the darkness forever. So he can either kill them or let them go and abandon his, mad plan to marry Alay. Gotta let him go. He can't kill his son. So he has a good goodbye with Eleanor. They found like a little peace, a little hope. There's not much, but something is there.
There's everything in life but hope.
We're both alive. And for all I know, that's what hope is.
And they have a good goodbye scene at the very end with them just waving to each other. So, anyway, feels like a play, but if you like that sort of thing, I think it's solid. Like, good acting, good dialogue, great historical period. Love all of it. Except for the Richard the Lionheart being a Fanuc thing. Didn't care for that. Anyways, I got other reviews on the channel. You might like I, Claudius, if you enjoyed this. Got any recommendations for stuff? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Dr. Infinity out.